Today I've got the 2020 Honda Accord Touring, the top trim level, 2-liter engine, fully loaded. I'm going to give you a detailed look at the exterior, the interior, and go for a test drive. And this Honda Accord is still punching way above its weight class. Let's get started. Real quick before we start this off, I want to give a big thank you and shout out to my friends at Honda Cars of Rockwall for providing this Accord right here. If you're in the DFW area, please be sure to check them out. I'll put their information in the description below. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in for this 2020 Honda Accord Touring. I'm going to show you all the features on this top end Touring model, everything on this got. Let's look at the exterior here first. So starting out on the front, we've got full LED headlights, even an LED daytime running light. That jewel look right there looks really nice, definitely borrowed from Acura. LED daytime running light running right underneath of that. And we even have LED fog lights, which is nice. Not everything gets fog lights nowadays. We also get this glossy black front grille, and that bar running across is their flying wing. It's a big chrome flying wing. It really stands out on this car. I would prefer probably all black up here on the front, and I've seen that and it looks pretty nice. But let me know what you think in the comments below. The front end of this Accord is super low. So if I go ahead and kind of kneel down, this is about right there, and it is a super low front end. That is one of the most drastic changes here. And I still think it looks pretty good. There's been some controversy of the back of it, but this color is the platinum white, and it has some metallic flake in it. I think it looks pretty nice. It's got some sparkle to it, especially in this daylight, the sunshine, it really stands out. Now for the wheels on this Touring model, we've got 19-inch machine finished wheels with some inserts in there as well. Some unique looking wheels, kind of some large wheels, and we've got 235 40 series tires as well. And this model actually gives us bigger brakes than like the smaller engine models and lower models, which is always nice to see. On those mirrors, they're heated, they're body color, have LED turn signals and a reverse tilting function, which is really nice and expected, as well as our blind spot monitoring. We have the smart key system as well, which I'll show you. You can see the little chrome piece running down there on the bottom. Kind of a premium luxury touch, even the chrome on these door handles as well. So definitely some chrome on this top end trim makes it seem a little more luxurious for sure. Another thing about the Accord is this top end model, this Touring, we get adaptive dampers with our independent suspension. So you should get the best of ride comfort and handling, the best of both worlds with that, which is pretty cool. And then as we come around to the back, we've got partial LED, we've got LED brake lights, integrated LED light bars back here as well. The turn signal, as you can see right over there, is an incandescent bulb. Have a unique shape to them as well. You've got your 2.0 turbo Touring badge, parking sensors here and the front. And then you do have exhaust outlets, a dual exhaust, but it's hidden behind that little cover on the bumper. Now the trunk and cargo space for the Accord is really pretty darn spacious. There's a little lift right up under, or a little tab you can push on right up under there. You've got exposed hinges, which is one negative. I'd like to see that changed, but this trunk is huge. 16.7 cubic feet, super wide, hardly any bulk in there. It's just easy to put stuff. Now, let me give you a look with a carry-on suitcase. Slides back there quite a ways. It's got good depth, it's got good height, and as you can see, the big thing compared to other vehicles is just how much space there is in the corners. And it's nice to see a hook and a little something you can drape something on both sides. So big, giant, spacious trunk, and the seats can also fold down. Of course, the Accord gives you a smart key system right here. Pretty nice key fob. You've got push button start, remote start standard on here as well. And I like the Accord's system. You've got this button to lock it, stick your hand back there. You've got sensors, and of course, for me, of course, not very responsive, but usually no problems. And then one feature that you can decide whether or not is active is when you walk away, you can have it automatically lock once you get far enough away, which is pretty cool. You can have that on or off. Now the front seats for the Accord are leather wrapped and they are 12-way with 4-way lumbar support. The lumbar can do the typical in and out but also up and down, which was really nice for me. I seem to get it just in a perfect spot. This leather is nice and soft. These seats are heated and ventilated standard, both of them for this touring trim. And standard is 2-position memory settings, and when you turn the car on, the seat, or turn the car off if you want, the seat can move forward or move back for the easy entrance and exit system. These seats are quite comfortable. The headrest isn't intrusive, which I love. These seats seems to be a little softer than some other vehicles, especially that Camry I was just in, and they're comfortable. Good bolstering, not super aggressive, not super sporty. I've got good headroom with the seat all the way down, and overall just comfortable seats. I could sit in here for a long time. Now taking a look at the interior of this Accord, you've got a nice soft material here, really nice looking trim piece and door handle running through there. And then this section down is nice and soft for your elbow, good padding, decent size armrest, a good grab handle as well. Your memory seat buttons right over here. You've got a trunk opening button as well as a couple bottle holders. My large bottle does not fit in there though. Right on the inside, you've got your control for your head-up display, trip computer, and brightness. And then the circle button with the car is for your safety features, your parking sensor, and traction control. Now we're inside of the Accord, and Honda has a really premium interior for this class, especially with the trim pieces, the materials in here. The layout is definitely unique with this tablet style screen. Leave your comments below. Those are definitely becoming more and more common. Our steering wheel here is leather wrapped. It is actually kind of bulky, and I like that. It's got some decent sport grips right there. 3-spoke design with kind of this half little interior portion. Maybe you could call it a 4-spoke, but all the necessary controls for your radio, your information display, your safety settings on here as well, like cruise control. Got paddle shifters on here, as you can see back there. And we even have rain sensing windshield wipers, the auto section right there, which actually come in handy in a lot of rainy situations. I like it if it's just kind of alternating between wet and dry and raining hard and not so hard, but push button start. There we go. And as you can see, you've got these 2 displays on each side, plus the digital readouts on the right and the left for the fuel and the temperature. And then over here, you've got your tachometer and basically all digital information display. So there's some information you can scroll through. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on it, but you've got a trip computer. Your tachometer can stay there. You've got your speedometer on here. You can have that, or not speedometer, I should say, but it tracks your speed. Your audio, your phone. You can see navigation on here as well. Traffic sign recognition. Your driver support and attention features that you can customize with that. So it's all pretty cool, and it looks pretty nice. It's pretty clean with the white lettering. Now coming over to our touchscreen, we have an 8-inch touchscreen with some real physical buttons on both sides, a volume knob and a tuning knob, which are good to see. Everything seems to be nice here. The only thing that I would change really is to not have it slanted away from you, but have it slanted just pretty much straight up and down, and maybe more integrated into the dash. I've seen a little bit of glare, but there's also this plastic film on there, so that might be part of it. So straight up and down would be nice for me. You've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I have CarPlay. Whoops. I have CarPlay. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble now. I have CarPlay going right now, as you can see. It's easy to get out of here. It's nice to have these real physical buttons. You can scroll through and customize a fair amount of things in here. You've got Wi-Fi available, Sirius XM, HD radio, navigation, and we have a 10-speaker 450-watt system, which sounds nice, but I would like to see more power and maybe a premium brand offering instead of Honda's own. As we go below that, we've got 2 central AC vents. You've got dual zone climate control. These actually feel nice and premium, good high quality. It's got a nice little tick to it, so that's pretty cool. Even the detail of it lighting up, if you can see that, red, blue. And then you've got 3-tier ventilated and heated seat options, so that's always nice, you and your passenger. This little tray can fold down for kind of a clean look. Otherwise, you can leave it up, have a USB for Apple CarPlay, as well as a 12-volt power outlet. And then while we're looking at that screen, let me click it into reverse. And then you've got this backup camera that has dynamic lines that move with the steering wheel. You have 3 different views, so there, and then a straight down view. So it goes wide, narrow, and then looking straight down behind the bumper, which is awesome. And your rear cross traffic alert will show up on here as well. And back to that shifter, as you saw, you pull back on that. Otherwise, everything else is push button. It takes some getting used to. It frees up space right here. So there's pros and cons to it. You've got a sport mode, eco mode, electronic parking brake, and a brake hold button. Nice large bottle holders right here. Mine fits in there well. I like how it's actually kind of squared off because my large phone can just sit in there and just be there. Otherwise, you've got wireless charging in there as well. Otherwise, you could put like a juice box or who knows what else in here. And wide, low, long armrest, which is nice. I really like this. It doesn't move up and down or anything like a ratcheting style, but you can lift it up. You've got a USB and a 12-volt power outlet in there. Nice large area. That tray is sliding. You can slide it or remove it. Up above, you've got an automatic dimming rearview mirror with garage controls as well. Got sunglass holders. No LED lights up here. I was kind of expecting to see that. Just regular, but still, they work. They're bright. You've got a normal looking moonroof up above, and visibility right here is pretty good. Looking around to the back, you've got a pretty sloped design, but Honda seem to have preserved the visibility pretty well considering it's a sedan and those headrests are not there right now, which is kind of silly. So those would impede the visibility. Now hopping into the back seat of the Accord, this is actually super spacious. So sitting behind myself where I would normally sit, this is how much space I have. That is a ton. This is amazing. So this is like crew cab full-size truck type of space. So good foot space, really good knee space. I can totally lounge out and actually let the cushion support my thighs. We've got AC vents back here, kind of the same type of mid-size sedan, center hump, smallish, medium right there. No USBs or charging ports back here, which is kind of unusual. And then when we come to the middle, we've got this center folding armrest, good size square cup holders again. And I've got good enough headroom. Honda, aside from the numbers not being that great, it's a surprisingly good headroom back here. And the middle seat is definitely tough. My head does touch the ceiling, so that's something to think about. Up above, we just get your regular incandescent bulbs. I'm surprised there's no LEDs back here. But one surprising feature that we have back here is heated seats on this top end touring trim, which is really nice. So those are 3-tier heated seats for these outboard passengers, which is really cool and something I don't expect in this class. We even have nice soft trim here, and up here we finally get the hard touch plastic, which is different than it is in the front. But you've got the nice trim piece as well again. So overall, pretty spacious back seat. Under the hood of this 2020 Honda Accord, we get a 2-liter engine that is direct injected and turbocharged. It's a 4-cylinder, which will put out 252 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. That actually comes out really early at 1500 RPM, so you don't even have to hardly get on the throttle. Paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission, miles per gallon is going to be 22 city, 32 highway, 26 combined, and the fuel tank will be 14.8 gallons. All right, thank you for sticking around for the test drive of this 2020 Honda Accord. So I drove this about a year and a half ago maybe, and I was very impressed with it. I didn't have a lot of experience driving other vehicles, and even after having driven several other vehicles, I'm still impressed with the way that the Accord drives. And we'll talk about some of that. We'll go through kind of a shorter test drive here and see what we see. So right off the bat, the Accord does seem to be fairly quiet. I don't have decibel ratings like I do on my full week-long reviews, but I would guess that this is right on par with the class, maybe on the quieter end. It's hard to tell. You know, I haven't driven it a whole lot yet. It's smooth. The steering is a medium heaviness. It's a little bit lighter, but not too heavy, not too light either. It just feels nice. Just driving this around casually, it's comfortable, it's easy to drive. That's one thing. I just have gotten so comfortable in this car. I really like the seats, the way that it looks, the seating position in here. You do sit pretty low, so that is definitely something that you might want to consider, especially if you have mobility issues and it's hard for you to get in and out. This is a low car, so test it out before you purchase. Now keep in mind, this car is of course a mid-size family sedan. Even though we have this 2-liter turbocharged engine, its goal is economy and smoothness. Now with that in mind, let's have a little acceleration run here. And it'll go. I tell you what, that boost kicks in right away, real low. Just partial throttle. Got to be respectful with the dealership car, and it goes. I mean, it is responsive. Even just partial throttle from here. It took a second to decide what gear it wanted, but then it went. You get that turbo boost so low, which is so nice sometimes. And in city driving, you hardly ever would have to get on it in order for you to even get any power out of it. So it's very casual, easy to drive. And let's go ahead and put it in sport mode. And this whole video is not going to be just driving it fast, of course. That's not what it's about. But it automatically downshifted, turned up the RPMs. And the cool thing is that there's actually a boost gauge, a turbo gauge. And it's still holding the RPMs. It's got a pretty nice sound to it, if you ask me. Even though it's a smaller engine, I think it's got kind of a sporty sound that they've artificially made, but that's just fine with me. Now that I'm at kind of higher speeds, double checking, we do have laminated glass here. There's active noise cancellation. I haven't experienced any rattles in this short period of time, so it's pretty quiet, pretty isolated. And with this corner here, kind of a long, slow turn, it feels well planted. And the steering there's no guessing at all. It just works and it drives nice. The braking on here is also good. It's actually quite responsive, and I enjoy a nice responsive braking system. It works well for me. You don't have to really guess on it. It's a little artificial, but it works well. Now this does have the adaptive dampers. It's not a sport tuned suspension. I haven't hit any real rough pavement or harsh stuff, but I've been pleased with it. I do feel everything, but I think it's a little bit softer than that Camry I was just in. Now I've got the paddle shifters on, and they're actually fairly quick and responsive, which kind of surprised me. A little quicker than I expected, but most people won't be using them. You've got 10 gears to go through, so that makes it maybe a little bit less fun. And in conclusion, I'm impressed with this Accord. It gives you so much. There's so much space on the inside, and it's not a super big car on the outside. It's just average size, and Honda did a great job of packaging this to being just an all-around great family sedan. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up if you liked it, and if you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down button twice. Subscribe for more weekly videos just like this one. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.